Welcome to April's Garage. Ford is feeling pretty good right now. They're back on top with the Lightning. Sales are
It's always good to be on top, yes. But they're beating the Cybertruck already.
Which is shocking, right?
Shocking, yes. The electric car pun, look at you. It's very shocking that the Lightning's beating. Oh, man. Let's just end the video right now.
Okay.
But, yes. So, 1 million reservations for the Cybertruck. Turns out, not many people wanted to spend $102,000
Right.
or $80,000 or whatever, $70,000. So they were ahead for a little bit.
Yeah.
While all the dumb people, including me, bought one.
But you're allowed to make a reservation and put a down payment
Like
of
$100.
$500?
It was like $100.
Okay. And then just you don't see that money back, and you don't have to
Right.
pick up the truck.
Nobody bought it because it was supposed to be $40,000 or $50,000.
Right.
Anyway, so it is pretty close though, because they sold 7,913 Ford Lightnings and 7,126 of the Cybertrucks.
Wow. Okay, so they are neck and neck for real.
Very, very close.
Which one would you go with if you were in the market for an electric truck?
Neither. I would go used and something else.
Okay.
But I found this article really interesting by Jalopnik because Ford is getting beaten at their own game with their little hybrid Maverick. So 7,000, almost 8,000 of the Lightning big pickup trucks.
Right.
Well, the little Maverick, 38,000 units.
Yes.
On the little bitty hybrid or the
Maverick.
all-wheel drive truck. So
It is so good.
Yeah, we just drove a Lobo. That'll be in a video actually for our Saturday special.
Right.
And we're very, very impressed. So you can see that coming up with April's Garage. And it wouldn't be a bad contender for you to switch into a Lobo or something else. I think the Lyric has sort of had its fun for a year with us.
You're ready to trade it?
I think so. Something
Okay.
fresh. I don't know. It's your car.
I mean,
so.
I really like the Lobo. It was really cool. And I think it would be fun to drive.
So people are saying the Cybertruck probably a questionable product decision, making something so expensive and so weird.
Right.
But there's been other complaints as far as the insurance being very high on these things.
On the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Okay.
The average insurance cost is apparently 40% steeper than an F-150 Lightning.
Because they're dangerous?
I don't know, because they're more expensive to repair, harder to repair, probably a bunch of different reasons.
Well, and I'm wondering too if that vandalism is coming into play with the insurance prices now coming up higher because there's been a lot more claims on them recently.
So Insurify, a virtual insurance agent, they ran a market analysis. The average to insure a Cybertruck is $3,400 per year.
Okay.
So we're talking almost $300 a month, $200 something a month.
Yeah.
On top of spending a lot for the truck, so very, very expensive. But they're saying the range anywhere from $2,400 to $4,500 depending on who it is.
Whoa.
So that's pretty tough. And then also the tires.
Right.
So electric pickup trucks or electric anything, the tires wear out more quickly.
Is that because they're so heavy?
Well, because there's so much power, it's hard for the tires to keep traction. So they're constantly spinning and struggling for grip and wearing out quicker
Is it
for that
because it's so
reason.
torquey that it
Yes.
just kind of rubs off on the road? Okay. So educational.
Rubs off on the road, exactly. Yes, all right.
You are on something.
Anyway, guess how much Cybertruck tires are?
How much? Not as much as your Bugatti tires?
Well, they're expensive. They're quoting $450 to $500 each per
Yeah,
tire. So
that's rough.
you're talking $2,000 for a set of tires on the Cybertruck. Now you could get aftermarket, not like the official ones that are ribbed for the Cybertruck Aero Wheels Pleasure. As far as the covers and things, for a lot less. But if you want the official aerodynamic maximum Cybertruck tires that are like 22 inches and then 35-inch total diameter.
I'm just surprised they're not
expensive.
the same tires on like the Mars rover or something where you don't have to put air in them, right? Like wouldn't
I
you
suppose.
advance some technology with the tires on the Cybertruck and like test it out there and make it available at least? That would be pretty cool.
And then it'd be in a Bugatti situation. Or like the
that's
Michelin
true.
Pax tires that were on different cars and things now
Yeah.
impossible to get. So at least there's like an aftermarket thing. But then you would have to lose the wheel covers, the covers, which I never got with my Cybertruck.
Shut up. You never got them? They just weren't available?
They never showed up. They hadn't had the fix in time to send out the new ones before I sold it, which I was very wise to sell. It's because the market report is pretty bad on these things. So I thought I'd look up all like 1 to 2 year old electric pickup trucks just to see how they're doing And just for reference here, so like the Rivian
Oh, I love
R1T,
those. Yes.
people don't talk about them as much, but they've actually had a 30% drop in sales year to year with all the competition.
Well, it's
So they're not
interesting that
doing
you
very
said
well.
people aren't talking about them as much, but I feel like they're more respected in the EV industry, so I don't hear a lot of negative things about Rivian.
You think so? So their MSRP base $69,900. Nice. The innuendos are just everywhere today, but that's where it is. And they're actually holding their own. So if you look at recent sales in the last week, you have 60, 60, 57, 65, 55, 58. So obviously there's more options to make them
Right.
more expensive, but compared to the other electric pickup trucks, they're really holding their own on the
Oh, yeah.
price. And this is for 2023, so they're a couple of years old. Pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, I love those trucks.
Not normal for electric trucks. So then you have the Lightning XLT, their MSRP $62,995. That's why they're doing so well, is because they're so much cheaper.
Right.
Also, Ford is incentivizing them as far
I
as
feel
like,
like when we were talking about this earlier, you said that they were cheap as. Remember?
nope.
They were cheap as balls, is what you said.
Is that what I said?
But like, do you think that they're like too cheap? Are they going to be losing money on the sale of these? They're just trying to get rid of them?
It's nice that they're moving units.
Right.
I don't, obviously, as the volume goes, then the development costs and the production costs go down, so maybe they'll start making money. The fact that they're using an existing F-150 platform may make it easier for them to sell it cheaper and make some money. I don't know, but the depreciation on these is pretty nuts. So $62,000, well, try 35 used with 20,000
That's
miles.
what we need to trade in a Lyric
37,
for.
1940 for 23,000 miles. So looking at the sales transactions, most of them are in the middle 30s for a 2023.
Right.
Just barely used, anywhere from like 2 to 30,000 miles on it. So
Can I ask you about these EVs? Can I just go to any charging place and reuse different chargers and stuff, or would we have to get like a whole new plug unit just for this truck?
well, Tesla is, they have their own
Yeah.
specialty, plug-in. But everyone else is the same. So like when
Okay.
you had your problems with the Lyric and had to stop at Jake's house, you didn't need your charger
I
because
forgot to charge it.
she forgot to charge it and drove to the airport and didn't have enough range to get home. So she stopped at Jake's house, and his i3 charger worked the same as
Right.
the Lyric. So it's all the same. It's all
That makes it a lot better.
it
a lot
all
easier.
plugs in. So the Chevy EV work truck with the big battery, $77,000. Really expensive.
That's a
57
lot.
is the cheapest.
Right.
But wholesale auction transactions, so I should be saying, these are all MMR, so Manheim, the largest auction network in the country, these are completed sales to other dealers, so they're going to flip them for at retail. 46, 45, 47, 42, the one that was a little rough, 47, 46. So they're dropping like a rock as well.
So that would be the
Like a rock.
better buy because they have the best range.
They have huge range,
Right.
so 400 and something miles of range.
So why would
Giant
you
battery.
go to any other EV truck? Like it's all about the range, and that's where
Well,
it's at.
new, they're much more expensive.
Right.
So these are $10,000, $15,000 more than a Ford Lightning.
Right.
But also in the same league as the Cybertruck price-wise. But the Cybertruck has a lot more tech. These are for work trucks.
Right.
So they don't have any of the fancy
I feel like
I don't think they have heated
range-
seats.
Yeah, but I feel like range is like the new how fast is it? Because all these EVs are really fast. Like, do you really need that extra half a second to get faster? They're all like instant acceleration, instant torque, all that stuff. But you really want
Right,
that.
so 450 miles of range, but the Cybertruck has the look, it has the tech, and now it's the same money, $80,000, down from 102 during the launch edition. So they're discounting them, they're getting cheaper, but the used transactions on Cybertrucks. You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
68, 66, 66 again. There's some in the 70s, 67,000. So, ouch.
That hurt a lot.
For the people that 1 year old, they bought it for $102,000, and now they're
$40,000 cut right
Yes.
there. That's a big kick in the balls, which you mentioned earlier.
I
That
don't
would
even
be.
remember saying that.
You did, it was like 5 minutes ago.
So here's the thing, April. I know you like electric,
Yes.
and you don't like going to the gas
I
station.
didn't think I would, but what you're saying next is you don't have to go to the gas station and like, I don't know, there's this thing, I'm not saying all women, but like, you know, we don't really like to fill up the gas all the time. Sometimes I'll return it low, and the EVs are just quick because you charge it right in your garage, and it just is perfect.
These used EV trucks are dirt cheap. I feel like the Lightning, the range is a little low for you.
Because
as
of
far
my
as
incident.
your incident.
The Silverado.
The Silverado EV.
Or the hybrid
Take a look at
Maverick.
This one is from the Enterprise rental fleet. It's the 4WT
Wait,
with
you're
the big
finding
battery.
this to bid on it?
I can buy this right now for $40,835. It has a few dents on it from rental use, but you can have a 450-mile, basically electric Avalanche. That's 34,000 miles.
Where's the
But
button?
it's got a few buttons. It's got a few boo-boos here. So there's a dent in the rear quarter there, as you can see. Because it's a rental, it was kind of used hard a bit. So there's that. Yeah, see, it's got a little.
What happened
They
there?
hit,
It's
they
like
hit
a
the running board.
dinosaur took a bite out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So there's
That's
that.
a big dent.
Or you can get a nice one in the Stormtrooper spec.
No.
For
Black.
$44,500.
I like the dents because then you're not worried about driving it. Because trucks, I feel like I'm gonna take to the garden store, I'm gonna take to Home Depot and like do things in it and load it up, and I'm not gonna want to worry about
Fix
it.
the dents probably.
Yeah,
I'd
really?
probably fix the dents, but that is the cheapest Silverado EV in the U.S. Period.
The range
and it's
is
the big
amazing.
battery one.
Right.
So I feel like it's got a few dents in it, but man, that's a deal.
That's great. Where's the button?
Or
How do we do this?
Or you can go Maverick.
What's your password?
No, or you can go Maverick and go to gasoline and have a little nimble, like really fun to drive little baby truck.
These are hard life decisions.
Or you can just drive the 300,000-mile Avalanche or the Dakota.
No. I need help deciding. Is it the Maverick hybrid or the Silverado with the huge battery? Which one? Thanks for watching.